Let's switch gears. We got some big news in the field of space exploration and exploitation. Elon Musk's SpaceX has successfully put satellites in orbit for the first time. The implications are significant. Of course, we rely on satellites for everything from our wretched phone calls and their data to critical infrastructure. And of course, this could be a good omen for SpaceX bringing human beings to the moon and Mars. Of course, that's further down the road. Let's bring in Jeff Parks, CEO of Stack Capital, a TSX-listed company. Stack invests in tech companies and startups before they go public. Now, it has a stake right now in SpaceX valued at roughly $30 million. I know that's ballpark.
Ballpark, yeah.
But thanks very much for having us. So when did you first buy into SpaceX? Just remind us.
We first bought in around 2021, 2022 at around an $85 billion valuation.
And where
so today, $400 billion. They just recently did a tender offer. It's great, that company, they like to give their employees liquidity. So they do tender offers kind of like once or twice a year. So the latest one was $400 billion valuation.
And you got in at an $85 billion.
Yeah, we're very happy with that.
Can you give us a ballpark idea of how much money you've put into SpaceX?
When we originally did it, it was between like 5 to 10 million. And so that stake has grown quite nicely since then.
And you've done a bit of a top up since then, have you?
Yeah, we bought some more in our last quarter because when you find a company like that has two monopolies in one, you want to put your capital behind it.
You mean the Starlink and the satellite launching business?
Yeah, if you break the business down, like you have two components to it. You have Starlink, so when everyone sits there and says, hey, I have Starlink up in my cottage or my cabin, that's part of SpaceX. And then another part is their launch business. So I'm sure as many people probably saw, yesterday they launched Starship. That was their 10th launch and extremely, extremely successful. That's their second component. And then their third component will be tourism and going over to going to Mars one day, making life multiplanetary.
What is the prospects for an IPO of SpaceX? Can you update us?
I would say beforehand, I would have thought that he would have brought it public within Trump's presidency. They were very, very good. They're very well connected. And then obviously some stuff happened in the media. So I would say maybe it's on a bit of the back burner, but they are at such a level, and there's a lot of liquidity in the private market on that they can stay private. I think there's some things that should change in the public market just to allow companies to go public and make it easier for them. Once that happens, then they'll probably go down.
And tell us about, maybe show the viz again. Tell us what's special about this spaceship, the Starship.
You look at this thing, it's almost like you're launching the Empire State Building up in the air. Like when you think about what he's been able to do, back in 2014, he launched his Falcon 9, which is the smaller version of this rocket.
Right.
He was able to launch it up, re-land that thing, bring it right back down to Earth, and reuse 75 to 85% of the fuselage. That's great because the reusability brings the cost down. Now this thing's much, much larger. You look at it, you're like, okay, that's a tower going up in the air. And the amount of payload that they're going to be able to bring up there, no one's going to be able to touch SpaceX.
How much roughly can they bring up? Can you give us a ballpark idea?
It's 6x. Like it's like 6x the amount of payload the Starship can bring up than Falcon 9 can bring up. So it's game changing. And right now they already bring up 90% of the cargo that goes up into space goes on a SpaceX rocket.
The Falcon, though, at this
Falcon
stage.
right now at this stage, yeah.
Let's have a look at your stock. You went public, I think, about 4 years ago, was it?
In 2021, right when the IPO market just went down.
I think that's a 3-year chart, so you've held up nicely. Now, you invested in CoreWeave as well, the red-hot stock. It soared. It did come down, but it's well up from its IPO.
CoreWeave we invested in. We were one of the only Canadian guys to actually get an allocation on that, which is fantastic. It speaks volume to us getting access into these companies. And we bought that in the last round before they went public on a tender offer. That company is an incredible, incredible business. If you want the picks and shovels of AI, CoreWeave is your play to invest in.
Right. They have, they manage the complexity of engineering, assembly, and monitoring state-of-the-art infrastructure, especially in AI.
If you want the Ferrari of a data center, you're going to the guys at CoreWeave. They are experts in what they do. And I'm sure everybody watching this, they're using ChatGPT or they're using some type of AI functionality in their daily life. I want the guy who behind the scenes are the picks and shovels every single time you type in a prompt, it's going to ping their servers.
And the symbol for CoreWeave, CRWV. I'm not sure if we have the stock chart right now, but a market, oh, there we are. And of course, it's only been public for a few months. And was it a $40 IPO, did you say?
$40 IPO. The stock went all the way up to 180.
Yeah.
Now it's come back a little bit just because there was expiry and lockup is coming off, so there's more shares in the market. But
Sure.
Besides that, the underlying business doing extremely, extremely well.
So I'm looking at, you have some analyst coverage. Raymond James is on you. They were looking at your stock August 11th, and they reckoned your book value per share was around $13.36, a slight discount, only a rounding error to the recent stock price. So.
Yep.
I guess one thing investors might be worried with you is your stock could go to a discount to the value of your holdings.
There's definitely possibilities with that, and we saw that. It can go to a discount, but it can also go to a premium as well. And what's great about that is the scarcity value of the assets that we give individual investors. We're giving them some of the latest, greatest tech type IPOs that you're not going to get an allocation to if you're a regular investor. Even some of the biggest financial institutions can't get that. So we believe we can actually trade at a premium to that underlying book value per share and give people access to those just incredible companies.
You're in Hopper Incorporated, or you were.
We still are.
Sure.
Hopper, travel and leisure business.
Okay.
Yeah, they're based out of Montreal. They do a lot of back-end travel portals for some of the biggest financial U.S. institutions. Capital One's a big partner of theirs. Incredible business. They're a Canadian tech unicorn, which is awesome.
It is interesting that you're offering people, a way to buy into these private companies that is not available generally.
We want to do something different. I come from the hedge fund background, long short equity. There's not a lot of differentiation between a lot of the products out there. So what we want to do is bring something differentiated that we can bring to the market that really breaks down the barriers for people to get access into these private companies.
Yeah, and so do you spend a lot of time in Silicon Valley, for example?
We have. My partner was down there the other day. He was down at a surf camp with some of the top tech guys down there.
Surf camp.
He was at a surf camp. So the people that we're able to meet and the network that we've been able to build is just it's unparalleled. And yes, we do sit up here in Canada, but we have tentacles all over the world.
What is your view, or do we have a challenge in this country on AI? Because we don't have that many prominent companies. We have some, I know, but...
Those major players, just the amount of funding that you can get as a U.S. corporation from OpenAI to Anthropic, you're seeing these companies just raise tens of billions of dollars, and it's harder to do that in Canada than it is in the U.S. And Americans, I find, are just a lot more aggressive in terms of investing versus on the Canadian side. So do I think we have some challenges? Yes. Do I think we have some really good opportunities? Yes. We have access to abundant power. We should be able to have these data centers stood up. We have a great climate for it. We have that access to power. We should be the picks and shovels behind a lot of these operations.
Maybe should the federal government be pushing harder on this thing?
I think there should be some government push on that to get access in this and make us an AI powerhouse. When you think of one of the greatest minds, it's Jeffrey Hinton.
Yeah, right here.
He comes here from Toronto. How are we not the leaders in this?
Yeah, Jeff, thanks very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Jeff Park, CEO of Stack Capital.